Welcome. Hello, I'm Eileen Grady. I am, among other things, I sat on the 2004 independent review panel that Commissioner Saltzman put me on to review this issue. He told me it's going to be a 90-day process, and I'm 11 years into it. So somewhere there's got to be contribution. And I understand that it's much easier to be an advocate than to be an elected official, and that you have to weigh multiple considerations as you make your decisions. And I know and I appreciate that Commissioner Fish and Fritz have tried to bridge the gap around the LT2 requirements, the Water Bureau's needs, and the citizens' concerns. And unfortunately, I think you're also seeing an issue that some of the underlying issues that there's a lack of trust between the Water Bureau and the community that ultimately, I think we all agree, nobody wants a distrustful relationship there, so you're having to struggle with that. In that spirit, I ask you to carefully review the HLC decision. I sat through the hearings. I think it's a balanced decision. The Historic Landmarks Commission sided, just remember this, they sided in favor of disconnecting, because that was the original application. What the dispute is over is a couple of appendages, a couple of approval conditions. The commission, as they indicated, they listened to testimony. And ad nauseum, I might say, anything from radon to the disconnection to the disparities between Mount Tabor Park and Washington Park, and they came up with two very, very reasonable conditions out of that whole basket of things that they wanted to attach to this application. And I would just state that number one of them has to do with how many days are you going to leave the reservoir empty? Let's get a date. We need to ask these guys, is it 66, is it 77, is it 98, is it 365? Sadly, I think because of the distrust issue, there is a need to actually say how many days the Water Bureau will leave the reservoirs empty. And sorry about that. And the other really is about this, the reasonable amount of preservation the structures are required to maintain. Well, I mean, how much is required to maintain these structures? They told us it was $1.5 million, which we thought up against Washington Park's $76 million. It was kind of a reasonable request. And even up against the $14 million for the What Goes on Top project from 2004, we thought we were doing okay. And we continue to get surprising information. I don't fault them. I think that they're very busy, they're overworked, but it's very difficult to deal with that information. I'm hoping that since Condition E was the reason that the commission made a unanimous decision, it was the condition that got them over it, that you can find some way of embracing that condition. Thank you very much.